One day, you're at a corporate scramble, par 4. Nothing dramatic on the scorecard, just a wide fairway and a couple of bunkers down the right side. The third guy in your group is one of the bigger swingers, takes a practice cut, steps up, and absolutely uncorks it. Except the ball doesn't go where you'd expect. It goes up, almost straight up. You hear that hollow click off the top of the driver, and the thing just climbs. You're tilting your head back to follow it. Everybody on the tee is sort of frozen, waiting for it to come down. It lands maybe 70 yards in front of the markers. Somebody in the next cart laughs and says, "Well, there's your Rainmaker for the day." The guy who hit it sets his driver down, looks up, and goes, "Yep, caught that one way too high." I came into golf through work and had to understand how golfers talk. I didn't need expensive lessons or endless rabbit holes online. I wanted clarity. So I built a free place to start at learngolfterms.com/start. Again, it's learngolfterms.com/start to access and download the free training. So, a Rainmaker, in plain golf terms, is a shot that goes way up in the air but barely goes anywhere forward. It's almost always a tee shot, almost always with the driver. The ball gets struck high on the face, well above the sweet spot, and the result is this dramatic vertical climb with very little distance. You might also hear it called a skyball, a pop-up, or someone might just say they skied it. All four words are pointing at the same thing, the ball getting up in the sky and not getting downrange. I'm a language guy, and this was one of the words I had in my ears for a while before I really knew what people meant when they said it. Where the word actually comes from is one of those answers that's a little less satisfying than you'd hope. Nobody really documents where Rainmaker entered the slang. The visual makes the case for itself. The ball goes so high, you could imagine it puncturing a cloud and bringing the rain down. That image is probably enough for the word to have stuck on its own. It evolved alongside skyball and pop-up, which describe the same shot from slightly different angles. Skyball is about where the ball ends up. Pop-up is about the sound. Rainmaker leans into the picture. None of them have a tidy origin story you can point to in a record book. Golfers picked up the word because it described what they were seeing. Rainmaker isn't a rules of golf term. It doesn't appear in the rule book. There's no penalty attached to it. It's a mishit, plain and simple. The cause is almost always a strike that lands above the center of the club face, where the ball ends up launching higher than the loft of the club would normally produce, with most of its energy going up instead of forward. Modern drivers, with those big crowned heads, can actually pick up a little scuff mark on the top of the head when this happens. Some people call it crown rash, others call it a sky mark. It's a tell. If you look at someone's driver and the top is scratched up, they've been hitting some Rainmakers. The actual scoring impact is just lost distance and a tougher second shot from way back. That's where the damage lives. Pros do it on TV from time to time too. Even at the highest level, the ball can climb when the strike isn't where it should be. If you want to feel more comfortable when golf comes up, I created something called Before Your First Tee. It is a short, focused program that helps you understand the language and follow what is happening in real conversations. You will know what people mean and how to respond without feeling lost. You can find it at learngolfterms.com/talk. That's learngolfterms.com/talk. Start feeling comfortable before the round even begins. Where this word actually shows up day to day depends on who you're with. On a casual weekend round, it's almost always a self-deprecating thing. Somebody pops one up off the first tee, the rest of the group laughs, the guy says, "All right, Rainmaker, fresh start," and reloads. In a more competitive setting, like a club match or a member guest, it lands differently. People still say it, but a little quieter, because nobody wants to celebrate a teammate's bad swing. Charity scrambles are their own thing. There's beer involved, the format forgives bad shots, and Rainmaker usually gets shouted from a different cart before the ball even lands. Corporate days have a slightly different register. Folks are watching their language a little more, but the word still slips out, usually said by whoever is most comfortable on the course, kind of as a way to take the pressure off the person who hit the shot. The feeling around the word is almost always light. Rainmaker isn't a word people use to embarrass anybody. It works more like a built-in apology. The guy who hit it usually says it before anyone else gets a chance to. There's a kind of unwritten thing in golf where if you can name the bad shot first, it stops being a big deal. Rainmaker lets you do that. A little teasing if a buddy says it, a little humble if you say it about yourself, almost never mean. The closest it gets to sharp is when somebody in the group has been having a long day and they sky one and somebody else just goes, "Another rainmaker," kind of quiet. Even then, it's more tired than cruel. Picture two guys standing on a tee box. One just hit a high pop up, and the other is leaning on his driver waiting his turn. The guy who hit it tilts his head back, watches the ball come down short, and goes, "Well, that's a rainmaker." His buddy nods and says, "I was waiting for the umbrellas." First guy laughs and reaches for another ball. "Yeah, I'm gonna hit a provisional just because." Then they both move on. You'll hear it as a noun and as a verb. I hit a total rainmaker off 7. He absolutely rain-made that one. "Don't rainmaker this drive!" That last one is the kind of thing a friend says right before you swing, and it almost always works as a jinx. You'll hear, "I skied it," and "I popped it up" used the same way, sometimes in the same sentence. "I don't know what happened, I just popped it straight up, full rainmaker." None of these are dictionary phrases. They're the actual words people use. This is one of those slang terms where I felt the word before I felt the shot, if that makes sense. I'm a language guy. I picked up the talk a long time before I got comfortable swinging a driver. Rainmaker was one of those words I'd hear in passing, in a clubhouse or on a broadcast, and I'd nod along like I knew what it meant. I didn't really. I had a vague picture of a ball going up, but I couldn't have told you why it happens or what specific kind of shot the word was pointing at. After you start playing a little, you figure it out quick. You catch one high on the face, look up, watch the ball just hang there, and the word makes more sense than it did before. That's about as close as I want to get to claiming I understand it from experience. The word came first, the shot came later. The reason a word like this matters in conversation is small, but real. If you're standing on a tee box and somebody in your group skies one and says, "Ugh, rainmaker," you don't want to be the person who says, "What's that?" The pause is awkward for everybody. Knowing what rainmaker means lets you nod, maybe say, "Yeah, the wind's gonna grab that one," and keep moving. So anyway, that's rainmaker. Pretty good word for a not very good shot. Alright, that's gonna do it for today. Thanks for listening, and catch you on the next one.